Pirates Outlaws is a tough game to learn. The new player experience can be very difficult, as losing a run gives you almost no rewards, and many deaths early on are caused by unknown mechanics that take some time to figure out. However, once you figure out the basics, you'll have a blast discovering all of the strategy that this game has to offer. In this video, I will do my best to help you get there with some simple strategies to help you with the start of your journey. So let's start right at the beginning. Assume you've just completed the tutorial. You have no upgrade potions and only the very first character, the Gunner. The Gunner isn't particularly strong, but he does teach some very important core mechanics. Let's talk about how to play this character. Gunner starts off with 10 cards, the most important one being Issue Order, a skill that makes your next range attack deal double the damage. Seeing this makes one thing pretty obvious. Gunner can deal a lot of damage if you play your cards right. Maximizing the use of Issue Order has always been the main strategy for the Gunner, and that usually means playing Issue Order followed by a heavy-hitting ranged card. Not every big range card is good, however. At the start of a run, you only have access to a limited amount of ammo, and big ranged cards early on might suck up your entire supply. You still want these cards at the end of your run once you have gotten a bit more ammo, however, so during the first 1 to 2 stages, you should be making upgrades that will make those big guns better when you can find them. You can do this by upgrading your ammo cards and taking out your shoots, which you shouldn't want to be playing. Another thing that is almost necessary is upgrading Issue Order. When upgraded, it gives you a critical hit on your next 2 ranged cards instead of 1, so you can add another big ranged card to your deck and not have to play Issue Order as often. This is also great because you can diversify the 2 main ranged cards that you pick between AoE damage and single target damage. Unfortunately, finding your big range cards aren't guaranteed since the card rewards are random, but you should be fine as long as you keep one specific card in your deck, Double Shot. This card is very often overlooked. It seems like it's just a combination of 2 shoots, but there are a lot more advantages to having it. You only have to upgrade it once, and it'll deal 18 damage alone, which is pretty good. It saves space for another card in your hand, and most importantly, Issue Order will make both of its hits critical. Double Shot can be one of those big range cards if you need it to be, so make sure to keep it and potentially upgrade it. It's really good for early on in runs as well. Something to consider when building your deck is that Gunner benefits from having less cards in it. If you keep adding cards, you won't be able to play your best cards as often, and they're more likely to come up in bad orders. Having a deck with less than 10 cards is a great thing, and it'll make it super consistent. So there are a lot of things that you want to do before you get to the third and final boss. If you're using this strategy, you'll want to upgrade your ammo and your good cards like Issue Order and Double Shot, remove your unwanted cards like Shoot and Punch, pick up a big range card like Blast, Barrage, or Spray, and find some worthwhile relics to keep along the way. The problem is, these deck upgrades all require money. Poor money management can easily lead to death, so this is going to be the most important skill to learn. There are 2 main ways to get money, and those are by selling relics and winning fights. Because money is so important, you're going to need to take every relic that you see and sell any of the less important ones. Even if the relic that you're looking at isn't useful, it's always going to be worth it when you can exchange it for 40 coins. Money has another great use as well, and that's cycling the card rewards. There's no way to skip taking rewards after a fight, so sometimes you'll find yourself with unwanted cards. Clutter is bad, so try to only take cards if they'll improve your deck. And if you end up with no good options after a fight, 25 coins to get 3 new ones is actually pretty good. You might even cycle into a relic, which will give you at least 40 coins, and that makes you a profit. Learning money management in this game is quite important and very rewarding, although it is pretty hard. But you know what is easy? Events. These spots on the map are basically just free stuff. For some of them you'll have to remember what the different options give you, but everything on your to-do list can be obtained for free through events. Some events are harmful, but the overwhelming majority are beneficial if you know what the outcomes are. So if you can go to an event, just do it. You have almost nothing to lose. The final bit of advice that I have for new players has to do with planning your route. A run can easily be made more successful by following a good path, so take a second before you start a stage and look ahead. First of all, always keep in mind your action points. Every move in your journey costs AP, which represents your ship's durability. Every move that you make with 0 AP gives you an increasingly large chance of sinking and ending your run, so never get there if you can avoid it. Taverns are where you replenish AP in the middle of a run, so you'll probably want to replenish at least 2 of them, and only do so if you're running out to maximize your savings. It's also a good idea to stop at a tavern before a boss and top up your HP before the fight and make sure your run does not come to an abrupt end. As I mentioned before, events are common and always good to do, but there is something even better, and that's markets. If you're good at saving your money up, markets can guarantee that you get an upgrade, and for a good price too. Although keep in mind, it's usually not worth it to go for the 100 cost upgrade or removal at a tavern. 100 is a pretty high price for one, when you can get one for 50 instead. Upgrades, however, are amazing. They not only make your deck more powerful, but they do so without giving you any downsides whatsoever. Markets not only have these, but they also might be selling the cards or relics that you're looking for, although they most likely aren't. So markets and events are good. Taverns are situational, but what about battles? These are hardly optional, but if you have a good deck, you'll probably emerge unscathed and with more money or relics. So they aren't bad to go to either. You may have also seen maelstroms and crew battles along the way. So what about them? Crew battles have an icon above them which tells you what reward they offer, so you can immediately decide if you want them or not. A crew battle consists of 2 consecutive fights, a second wave replacing the first set of enemies once defeated. They can be risky still, so if you incorporate one of them into your route, be ready to switch to another path if you have low HP. Maelstroms come in pairs. Going through one of them will pop you out of the other, usually at the cost of extra AP. If you have the money to spare, going through the further ahead Maelstrom and warping backwards is almost always worth it. Every stop makes you more powerful, and hitting more is an opportunity to make your deck even better. If you can manage to finish a run, assuming you're on mobile, you'll be rewarded with 500 gold. This is enough to unlock the Swordmaster, who also happens to be one of the most powerful characters in the game. I might cover her in another video. I really hope this video has given you a better idea of how to get started in Pirates Outlaws, but if you have more questions, the greatest resource for this game is the official Discord server. I've been part of it for a long time and it's full of experienced players. What we want more than anything is to help other players learn and enjoy this amazing game. Don't be afraid to join the discussion or ask any questions that you want. Everyone is more than welcome. I'll be putting a link to it in the description. You can also ask your questions about the game in the comments section, and I'll answer them as best as I can. I highly recommend getting into this game though. If you're a fan of deck building roguelikes, this is one of the best ones you can get on mobile. It's come a long way since it was released, and the devs are still making monthly updates that add new characters, game modes, and quests. That's all I've got, so farewell mateys and good luck on your adventure.